Hello, YouTube viewers and Transformers fans of all ages. This is the TFNG coming here. Hopefully, will be a quick and successful live video. And this will be a video review of the Transformers Generations War vs. Cybertron Siege 35th anniversary Walmart exclusive deluxe class toy of Bluestreak. What a mouthful that was. So this is Siege Bluestreak. He is a Walmart exclusive, and he's one of only 4 Transformers toys that are celebrating the 35th anniversary of the Transformers franchise. And he's the only deluxe. The other 3 Transformers toys in this subline are Voyager class toys. So here's Bluestreak. Here's the War for Cybertron Siege. It's really hard to tell because it's a dark red on a brighter red, but right there above his name, which is in red letters on a white background, it says that Bluestreak is the right there next to my finger. Bluestreak is the 64th Transformers toy to be released in the Siege line. So it amazes me that there have been at least 64 toys released in the Siege line so far. All right. And so here on this side of the box, you've got some nice artwork of Bluestreak. And because Bluestreak is an exclusive part of the 35th anniversary subline, there's no blacklight code there on him. I shined my blacklight on it just to make sure there was anything hidden on there, and there is not. So anyone wondering if it's worth shining a blacklight code on Bluestreak, I can say that no, there's no need to shine a blacklight coat on him. So here on the top of the box, it almost looks the same, but because of the 35th anniversary logo, if you compare Bluestreak's box to a standard Siege box, this is Impactor's, the Autobot logo, instead of being a red Autobot logo on a silver battle-scarred silver background, it's in fact a standard white Autobot logo on a standard red background. Now for the 35th anniversary logo. Art Teacher for Life, hello there. Ruben Soto, hello. Green Turtle Gaming, welcome. Input, greetings to you. Art Teacher for Life, she says. Autocrat Primer says hello. He is all ready for bed. Long day. I understand, Art Teacher for Life. I can understand that. Green Turtle Gaming says tomorrow will be hectic because it's my birthday, so I'll probably get some Transformers. Hello. Or as I open up Siege Shockwave, he is amazing. Green Turtle Gaming, happy birthday to you, and I hope it's a great day for you tomorrow. So here on the back of the box, we have Bluestreak. Again, he's in the 35th anniversary subline. So there's his robot mode and his alt mode of a Cybertronian sports car, and he transforms back and forth between his robot mode and his alt mode in just 14 steps. Yep, so it's really great. For those of you wondering, I got Bluestreak as a surprise present from a subscriber, fellow Transformers fan, and friend of the channel, Crimson Raptors, and so he decided, just like Larkin's Lair, that he found the videos I make on my channel entertaining enough that he wanted to give me, he originally wanted to give me 2 Transformers toys as a surprise present for me. The other one he wanted to give me was a Siege Ratchet, but I already got it off of Input, but he sent, and so he sent me a Bluestreak anyways. He said in the last live stream chat that if I wanted any other Transformers toys to just let him know, and I told Crimson Raptors that I liked that the other Transformers toy that I wanted to get from the 35th line was a Sound Blaster, and he said he'd keep an eye out for me if he can get a hold of Sound Blaster. So thank you so much, Crimson Raptors, for going through with that. And Input, he's saying happy birthday to Green Turtle Gaming. Ruben Soto, tell him what I did to my Bluestreak figure. Okay, so for those of you who don't know Ruben Soto, I subscribed to his channel a few days ago, and he did some nice custom work on his toy of Bluestreak. And Ruben Soto, his custom paint job, it really gave Bluestreak a bunch of highlights that really made him look more interesting and more what's the word I was looking for? I was gonna say, I forgot what word I was thinking of, but it basically makes a Bluestreak look not so bland as he does right now. Ruben Soto, he put some paint apps, for instance, to break up some of the red on Bluestreak's torso and his thighs. So Ruben Soto, I really love that custom work you did on Bluestreak. So really nice double thumbs up to you, Ruben Soto, for putting your imagination and your intuition into making Bluestreak a even more of an awesome paint job than Hasbro gave him. Now, for those of you wondering what in the world is that rattling noise you're hearing, right after Crimson Raptors sent me Bluestreak, while he was coming to my home in the post office, one of his car doors popped off of his shoulder, or his back, I should say. Now, thankfully, these doors, they aren't pinned on, they just tab on, so it should tab back into place. Hey, so that is a little discouraging that while Bluestreak was moving around in the post office system, that apparently he got bumped enough that one of his doors came off of him. I'm hoping it's not a defect on this one copy of Bluestreak that Crimson Raptor sent me, but we will find out right now. Okay, so here is Bluestreak's instruction sheet. I won't go through it too much. I haven't really been using the instruction sheets. It's on my Transformers toys, but one thing I noticed starting with the Wave 4 Deluxe Class toys and the Siege line, in addition to the instruction sheets, you're also getting this warning label, and it's in up to 23 different languages. I don't know if anyone else has shown this off in any of their unboxing video reviews of any of the recent Transformers toys, but even here on the bottom, you got the words "Made in Vietnam" in how many languages is this? You got the words "Made in Vietnam" here on the bottom in 26 languages here on this warning slip that you get in the packaging. So apparently, this is Hasbro's way of showing Transformers fans that the Transformers is now a toy line that stretches across the globe, and it's in this many languages. Yes, so I find it amazing that Optimus Prime and Megatron and the Transformers have reached out to those so many parts of planet Earth right now in their epic war. Okay, so there's the door that popped off the Bluestreak. See if I can get him out of his plastic stasis pod is what I like to call it. The boxes that Autobots are packaged in, I like to call them stasis pods. For the Decepticons, I like to call them prison cells. David Hill, hello there. Some people are heading over to Ruben Soto's channel because of his see the awesome paint job that he gave Bluestreak. And I was impressed when I saw it, you guys, so I hope you like it as much, like Ruben Soto's custom paint job on Siege Bluestreak as much as I did. Okay, I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but I'm going to have to stand up and get one of my tools out to get Bluestreak freed. Normally, I like to free my Transformers toys from the plastic tie-downs. I was holding them in place with just my fingernails, but sometimes, occasionally, the way one is packaged, there will be one where I will have to use something to get them out. Got that, almost done. Alrighty, and so Bluestreak is free, and now to fix him, pop his door back into place. Yay. So here is Bluestreak, fresh out of his box in all his splendor and glory, and he just looks amazing. Someone pointed out, I can't remember who it was, but someone thought that Bluestreak had one bit of retooling in his head sculpt to separate him from Prowl. Someone thought that his mouth might have been a little larger than Prowl's, but it's not. It's just it's just the way it's just an optical illusion created by the shade of paint used on the faces. He says, gonna get Bluestreak's weapons out. One thing that a lot of Transformers fans have been impressed with, even though Bluestreak comes with the same accessory pieces that have been used on the other versions of the Siege Prowl mold, a lot of people are impressed by the shininess of the metallic silver that is used on Bluestreak's main laser gun. And just like the smoke screen and barricade releases of this mold, Bluestreak comes with the dual shoulder cannons. So here is Bluestreak all armored up and ready for battle. And for a quick size comparison in robot mode, here he is next to his buddy Prowl. So here are Prowl and Bluestreak standing next to each other. And they look amazing. So as far as the actual toy molding between Prowl and Bluestreak, just like the original Generation 1 toys, Prowl and Bluestreak are the exact same toy, so if you were to spray paint them the same color by accident, hopefully not on purpose, you would end up with two copies of the exact same toy. The only differences between Prowl and Bluestreak are the accessory pieces that they come with. Again, Bluestreak comes with the two shoulder cannons right here. These shoulder cannons were available also with Barricade and with Smokescreen, but they weren't given to Prowl. And one thing Prowl has that Bluestreak does not is right here, the light bar sirens, because Prowl's a police car. Alright. Now I do have Barricade. I didn't get Barricade transformed into robot mode, but I will show Bluestreak off next to Barricade when I get him transformed into his alt mode in just a bit. So now that I have Prowl and Bluestreak in hand, I've always, as far as the personality traits of these Transformers characters, I've liked Prowl as a Transformers character slightly more than Bluestreak, but as far as the paint job that these two Transformers have and the overall physical appearance of them, I actually like Bluestreak's paint job a lot more than Prowl's. Prowl is okay for his mostly white and black paint job, but Bluestreak with his dark metallic silver in the black, and also the red highlights that he has on his torso, his upper arms, and his thighs, it just makes Bluestreak look less monotonous than Prowl does. Yes, but I just really love that Hasbro decided, just like in the Generation 1 toy line here for the Siege line, to release, after creating Prowl, to repainting Bluestreak. And I actually looked back at Bluestreak's Wikipedia page, and apparently you can actually count, using the fingers on your hands, how many toys Bluestreak has been given in recent years. In fact, ever since Generation-style Transformers toys started with the Classics toy line back in 2006, last time I checked Wikipedia, there's actually only been 3 toys of Bluestreak that have been released by Hasbro. The first one was the Universe Classics Deluxe Class toy of Bluestreak that was released back in 2008. The next one was the Transformers Legends Class version of Bluestreak, which was a repaint of the Reveal the Shield Legends Class Prowl toy that was released in 2011. Bluestreak's Legends Class toy, it was released in what was called the Generations GDO toy line that was launched in 2012. So yeah, the Siege version of Bluestreak, it's only the 3rd toy of Bluestreak that's actually been released by Hasbro in the Generations line. So that's one reason why, for me personally, I do highly recommend getting Bluestreak if you can. And if you cannot, and if you're in a situation I'm in where you can't get close to Walmart, hopefully Bluestreak will start to appear at retail price and on other websites. On Amazon, Bluestreak is currently going for $45 because the only people selling Bluestreak on Amazon are scalpers who are trying to make a fortune selling Bluestreak. Bluestreak there. So setting Bluestreak down for a side, I'm gonna scroll back up and catch up on what you guys have been saying in the live stream chat. Input says Megatron is on sale at Target right now. He's saying that to Green Turtle Gaming. Ruben Soto, he says, I also got Hot Wheels and I got votes, so go on my Twitter account. Green Turtle Gaming says he used a knife to open up Siege Shockwave. Be careful with that, Green Turtle Gaming. For those of you wondering, the reason why I use a pair of nail clippers to get my Transformers toys out when I can. One day when I was opening up a Transformers toy, I was trying to open it up with a pair of scissors, and the scissors slipped, and one of the blades actually sliced my finger. Thankfully, since then, it's healed completely and there's no scar on there, but the one time I tried to use a pair of scissors to open up a Transformers toy, boy, it slipped out of my hand and I accidentally cut myself off. And so when I saw that a pair of toenail clippers essentially is a much smaller and much less likely to injure yourself pair of scissors, that's why I've used toenail clippers ever since that day, to help me get my Transformers toys out of their boxes. Arbitrary Hero, hello there. Arbitrary Hero, he says, seriously, Prowl is the worst version of this mold. White just eats up his alt mode details, and Bluestreak looks great by comparison. I agree, Arbitrary Hero. One thing that Bluestreak has going for him that Prowl has working against him that I like is the way the wheels are painted. I just love how Bluestreak's wheels are. They're actually, at first glance, they look like they're solid black plastic, but if you actually look up real closely right there, I don't know how well that's showing up for you guys, but Bluestreak's wheels are actually a smoky gray plastic, so they are clear plastic, just like the wheels on Prowl, but unlike Prowl, where his wheels are very light clear plastic, Bluestreak's clear wheels they give the illusion of being black. So that's one thing I like about Bluestreak is that his wheels actually look more like wheels compared to Prowl's. And even though it is an optical illusion to some people, but if you look closely, Prowl and Bluestreak, the hubcaps are painted the same shade of silver. I will admit, though, that Bluestreak's hubcaps are painted slightly whiter. Look right there at the edge of my finger, those little ridged bits. On Bluestreak, they're painted silver, but on Prowl's wheels, they're not painted. So Prowl's hubcaps, even though they're the exact same molded wheels, Prowl's hubcaps are smaller than Bluestreak's. Ruben Soto says, repaint retool of the original Prowl. David Hill says that's the famous guy from YouTube, Arbitrary Hero. I heard he does charity events and awesome videos. Primus is saying Prowl looks weird, but Bluestreak looks beautiful. I agree, Green Turtle Gaming. I don't know what it is about Prowl's mostly white plastic that makes him look unusual visually for most Transformers fans, and why it is that at the same time Bluestreak is mostly black and silver with red highlights paint job. It's really eye-catching for most Transformers fans. I don't know why that is, in all honesty. Lost my place in the live stream chat. Where was it? Okay. I found it. Input, he says, I think Barricade is the best version of the mold. There have been some people arguing that input, and I tend to agree with it. David Hill says, okay, who's going to be the brave customizer to part swap on all the Dotsons and Seekers to make new characters? I don't know who that is, David Hill, but it's definitely not me. I do not want to take that risk. Ruben Soto, he says, now I want Barricade. I hope you'll consider getting him, Ruben Soto. Because one thing about Barricade, and that's one reason why I'm now starting to regret not having transformed Barricade into his robot mode, but I don't know if I can reach in here and get it turned around for you guys. Let's see. Okay, I just barely managed to do it for you guys. See if I can get it all the way. Hey, but Barricade, and this is one thing that Barricade that makes Barricade, since he's a Decepticon, I can say that when the origin story I gave Barricade is that when he was being created, Shockwave made him to be like a clone of the three Dotson Autobots. And basically, Shockwave took parts from each one of the three Autobots. Shockwave gave Barricade Prowl's light bar siren. He gave Barricade Bluestreak's shoulder cannons, and then flipping Barricade up. See if I can study these for you guys. Shockwave gave Barricade a Smokescreen's head. So officially, because he was the last one shown on the internet and the last one announced to exist, technically Barricade is the fourth character to use the Siege Prowl mold. old, even though some people, myself included, got a hold of Barricade before Bluestreak, and also and for some people they got Barricade before Smokescreen, but officially Barricade's the fourth version of the mold, and basically Barricade and also Smokescreen, who I do not have yet. I'm hoping to get Smokescreen from Amazon this weekend, but Barricade and Smokescreen actually have a different head sculpt from Prowl and Bluestreak. So if everyone was wondering, basically in the Generation 1 toy line, Smokescreen, he had a few retooled parts such as the front bumper of his vehicle mode was thicker than Prowl and Bluestreaks, but I guess Hasbro decided they couldn't retool any of the parts on the alt mode. So basically, to get Smokescreen to have one retooled part from Prowl and Bluestreak, Hasbro decided to create for Smokescreen a different head sculpt, and they used that head sculpt a second time here on Barricade to further distinguish him from Prowl and also Bluestreak as well. So that's an interesting bit of trivia there, that there's actually two head sculpts for the Siege Prowl mold. You realize you're a sub Ruben, I have very different views. Okay. Green Turtle Gaming says I was super careful TFing. Okay, that's good to know. Green Turtle Gaming, he was talking about the scissors. Input says you gotta get the figures first. David Hill says I stabbed my thumb earlier today working on my latest custom. David Hill, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope where you stabbed yourself, it heals right away. Ruben Soto says he always cuts nice and easy. Green Turtle Gaming agrees. Ruben Soto says Prowl needs more paint. I agree, Ruben Soto, and one particular spot where I think Prowl is lacking in paint, and I don't know if anyone else will agree with me on this, but it's more prominent in his alt mode, but Prowl, his headlights aren't painted. It's really hard to tell because they blend into it, especially here on my camera, but if you look right there under my finger, Prowl's caution lights were painted yellow, but the main headlights are unpainted. And yet, the main headlights are painted on Bluestreak. They're also painted on Smokescreen. And I haven't checked any photos, and I didn't check any photos of Smokescreen. I should have as a reference before the video started, but I think Smokescreen's headlights might even be painted in. And since Smokescreen's a race car, and race cars don't have headlights, basically everybody has headlights except for Prowl. Although I could be wrong. If someone can please let me know in the live stream chat if they can find a photo of Siege Bluestreak in his alt mode and confirm if his headlights are painted in or not. Please let me know. I'm catching up on the live stream chat right now. David Hill is asking, why do you have multiple Seekers or why don't you have multiple Senior Dotsons ready? You must have bought an MP44 and 2 Unicrons, lol. I don't know who David Hill's talking to. ChubCup72, hello, welcome. He says he uses a bayonet to open his toys from their boxes. It's sharp, quick, and lengthy. Haha, ChubCup72. Ew. Everyone's saying hi to him. ChubCup72, he's saying no Smokescreen yet, TFN Geek. Nope, ChubCup72, not yet. I would have gone to the store to buy the Amazon card needed to purchase Smokescreen from Amazon today, but I had to help my family instead. So hopefully tomorrow, hopefully before the weekend is over, I'll be able to get Smokescreen from Amazon. David Hill said, can you put Barricade next to a Prime Viacon? You can, sort of, David Hill, but one thing that prevents Barricade from blending in with the Viacons is that his doors are painted white like an actual Earth-style police car, and the Viacons, even though they look black, I actually held a very bright light up to the Prime Viacon toys, the deluxe class ones, and the Viacons aren't actually solid black. They're actually a very, very, very dark shade of purple. And if you actually shine a bright enough light on a Transformers Prime Deluxe Class Viacon drone toy, you will see the purple plastic lit up underneath that very bright light. Right, so that took me by surprise when I discovered that the Viacons aren't solid black plastic. They're actually the darkest shade of purple plastic that has ever been used on a Transformers toy. Ruben Soto says, I want Barricade now. Ruben Soto, I hope you get him. Barricade is easy enough to find because just like Prowl, he's been released at mass retail, so he's available everywhere. And David Hill says, G1 Smokescreen had a spoiler too. Okay, thank you, David Hill, for clearing that. And Ruben Soto says, need some silver, light blue, and a bit of gold. Well, David Hill says, probably look great with panel lining and some liquid smoke for his battle damage marks. I can see that working, David Hill. Ruben Soy says, maybe if you mix silver and a bit of black mix and dry brush, I shouldn't give it damage looks probably come out a bigger figure, but not too much. That's a good idea, Ruben Soto. Chub Cup 72, he's accusing. He said he's telling me you're a good kid, TFN geek, helping relatives first before buying for yourself. Chub Cup 72, thank you so much for that compliment. Ruben Soto says, I need money first. That's always the problem when it comes to buying Transformers toys, Ruben Soto. David Hill is asking, please pull out a Viacon and show next to Barricade for him. David Hill, if I could, I would, but all of my Viacons are in a storage bin that's in a hard-to-reach spot for me, so unfortunately I won't be able to do it right now. So David Hill, I apologize profusely for not doing that, but the Viacons were the last Transformers toys that I had anticipated coming up in a video about the Dotson Transformers, especially since Bluestreak's the focal character of the video. David Hill, he's screaming, no! I'm sorry, David Hill. I apologize once again for not being able to do that. And David Hill, I hope you can forgive me, but I actually army built on the Prime Viacons, and I have 5 copies of them. So I apologize, David Hill. They're actually in a storage bin that's actually right behind me, and it's in the bottom section of the glass cabinet that's behind me that's holding all my Legos inside it, so I apologize for that. Okay, so as far as background information on Bluestreak, I couldn't find too much information on him that made him stand out from it. I will admit that in the Generation 1 cartoon, Bluestreak, his personality was not like Prowl's at all. It was very different. And again, one reason why I was taken aback by Bluestreak having his shoulder cannons and Prowl not having them, even though the Generation 1 toys both had them, someone pointed out to me first, and then I looked back and watched it, and I realized that in the Transformers Generation 1 cartoon, Prowl, even though his toy had the shoulder cannons, in the Generation 1 cartoon, Prowl did not have them. Only Bluestreak did. And I think Smokescreen had them too. But that was an interesting reality check that I was exposed to, was that in the Generation 1 cartoon, Prowl didn't actually have the shoulder cannons that Bluestreak and Smokescreen came with. David Hill, he says, yes, I'm just joking, just so you know. If you take a picture of the Viacons with Barricade, send them to my email, you'll make me a happy camper, LOL. I'll do my best, David Hill. Ruben Soto, he says, all hail Megatron. Chubcup72 is asking me a question. Is Bluestreak the same character as Silverstreak? Chubcup72, for me, the answer is yes. Bluestreak and Silverstreak are the same character. So what happened was, by the 1990s, Hasbro had been unable to renew the registered trademark they had on Bluestreak's original name. And if you actually, whatever internet search engine you use, Google, Bing, or Yahoo, if you go type in Transformers Universe Bluestreak, and you actually find a photo of that toy inside its box, on the box, the name that's printed on is Silverstreak. And so when Hasbro wanted to bring Bluestreak back in the Transformers comic books, they couldn't get a registered trademark on the name Bluestreak, and so they decided to see if they could get a registered trademark on the name Silverstreak, and it worked. And so throughout the decade of the 2000s, Bluestreak's name was Silverstreak because Hasbro couldn't get a registered trademark on his original name. Now I can't remember what year Hasbro got the registered trademark back. I can't remember if the 2012 Legends Class Generations toy of Bluestreak, if it was named Bluestreak or if it was named Silverstreak. I can't remember honestly, but today, at least, Hasbro has managed to finally regain a registered trademark on Bluestreak's original name, because all over his box, his name is Bluestreak. So, at least now for the Siege toy of him, Bluestreak's original name is back. Oh, thank you, Input. Input said it was 2012 when Hasbro managed to get the registered trademark for Bluestreak's original name. No. Name Ruben Soto, he says, curse those trademarks. A Mark's Input says, for the most part, yes, his name was Silver Streak, but not in IDW's comics. Okay, thank you, Input, for that clarification. Let's see. Ruben Soto says, even the word slag, even with the Dinobots with a Dinobot Slag, his name having to be changed to Slug because of what the word slag means in some other countries, if you know what I mean. Ruben Soto, I do know what you mean. Ian David Hilly says, I love the trademark laws must be renewed every 3 years or lose it. That's why Hasbro makes the same characters every few years. Okay, David Hill, thank you so much for that reality check. So apparently registered trademarks only last 3 years before they have to be renewed, so that's one of the reasons why Hasbro never stops making toys of Optimus Prime, Megatron, Bumblebee, or Starscream. Eamon Input says that the first Hasbro released toy, a Bluestreak, because Hasbro couldn't yet get a registered trademark on Bluestreak, and rather than naming him Silverstreak, the first masterpiece toy, a Bluestreak that was released by Hasbro, his name was just the word Streak. There was no color name put in front of it, and I had actually forgotten about that, so thank you, Input, for reminding me of it. David Hill says, Input has the touch of knowledge. Input says, oh, well, I try. I think you do, Input, so thank you so much for that clarification. Now, for those of you wondering, if Bluestreak, because his paint job is mostly silver, and Hasbro appropriately called him Silverstreak during the late 90s and throughout the 2000s, why is his name Bluestreak? There's an interesting bit of trivia, but the original toy that became the original Generation 1 toy of Bluestreak, before it was a Transformers toy and it was a part of the Takara Tomi's Diaclone Robots toys, that the original toy mold of Bluestreak, before it was a Transformers toy, its paint job was in fact mostly blue, and almost the same as Bluestreak, where the black paint job that he has, as in here on the photo of his alt mode, the original pre-Transformers toy of Bluestreak, the silver parts that Bluestreak has, they were originally blue, and the black part was white. So Bluestreak his name was appropriate because he originally did have a blue paint job. And then, in somewhat of an oddity, when the time came for that toy to be turned into a Transformers character, someone in Hasbro's marketing strategy thought it would be much cooler if the toy was painted almost entirely silver with a few black highlights instead of the original Diaclone blue and white color scheme. And if you'll excuse me for a second, everyone, I have to blow my nose here for a second. Something just went up my nostrils. So I don't know why the reason why Hasbro decided to change Bluestreak's paint job from mostly blue to mostly silver, and yet at the same time they didn't change his name from Bluestreak to Silverstreak back in 1984, and they kept his name Bluestreak. I honestly don't know the reason why. There's been several fan theories as to why Bluestreak's his name doesn't match up the main color of his paint job. One ridiculous one I heard was that not ridiculous, but rather silly. One silly fan theory I've heard as to why Bluestreak's paint job was painted from blue to silver was so that he could be further distinguished from Soundwave, who someone in Hasbro's marketing team thought Soundwave was going to be the most popular Transformers character to have a blue paint job, although Thundercracker fans might argue that. Same with Mirage fans. And so I personally don't know the reason for why it's all fan speculation, but either way, Bluestreak has remained a unique Transformers character, and Bluestreak was was, to my knowledge, the very first Transformers character to have the name of a color as a part of his name. There's a handful of Transformers characters that have been created more recently in the past few years who have the names of colors as part of their names. For instance, Green Light from the Siege line, and also Red Wing, who is the Transformers toy that I got as a gift from Larkin's Lair. I'm trying to think if there's any other Transformers characters that have the names of colors in their names. Oh yeah, there's Blackout, Goldbug. I can't think of any more right now. Oh, but yeah. Oh, and yeah, thank you, David Hill. There's also Red Alert. Or he technically has the name of a color in his name as well. Let's see. David Hill says several never remain official blue version of Bluestreak. The Diaclone and Masterpiece were these versions were Takara. David Hill's pointing out an interesting bit of trivia. To my knowledge, the original Diaclone colored version of Bluestreak, which was the mostly blue and white version of him, to my knowledge, the original Generation 1 toy of Bluestreak, it was never sold in the Diaclone colored versions. Yet, in somewhat of an oddity, in one of Hasbro's product catalogs from 1984, the version of Bluestreak that was pictured standing amongst the other standard-sized Autobots was the blue and white Diaclone version, and so ever since 1984, and basically throughout the last 35 years of the Transformers franchise, Transformers fans have wondered if Hasbro had ever released or intended to release Bluestreak in his blue and white Diaclone colors. But so far, no copies of a U.S. American release of the Diaclone colored version of Bluestreak has ever been found. And there's speculation that the Diaclone colored version of Bluestreak that ended up getting pictured in Hasbro's 1984 product catalog, it was a spare copy that someone had actually purchased in Japan and had brought back to Hasbro's headquarters in Rhode Island, and that it was the only copy of Bluestreak available when they decided to make the photo shoot for the product catalog. Ruben Soto saying his paint should be blue. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm caught up on the live stream chat, so I will start to transform Bluestreak for you guys. The transformation is it's not easy, but it's not difficult either. I'd say it's somewhat between easy to average as far as the difficulty level goes. Let's see if I can get him transformed without damaging any of his parts. Right. Now, technically, one thing that you don't have to do with the transformation, you can leave Bluestreak's head facing the same direction, but a lot of Transformers fans like to rotate it around because it hides the face sculpt in alt mode. But again, that's optional. You technically don't have to have Bluestreak or any of the characters that use this mold hide their faces in alt mode, but for me personally, I like to do it because it does make them live up to the phrase of being robots in disguise. Even if they have visible head syndrome, at least you can't see their faces. Faces in this mode. Make sure everything is lined up properly. Sandwich these legs in. Let's see, I think that's lined up properly. Let me see. Yes, it is. Okay, and I can start to see one of the reasons why one of Bluestreak's doors popped off. On my copy of Bluestreak, you can see on this door, and this is the door that didn't pop off. Once you get Bluestreak transformed into his alt mode, those doors don't want to actually stay flipped out. Make sure everything's lined up correctly. Looks like it is, feels like it is. Alright, and here is Bluestreak in his alt mode of a Cybertronian sports car. It is pretty amazing how some people have said that it looks like a stylized version of the Datsun cars that Bluestreak, Prowl, and Smokescreen transformed into in the Generation 1 toy line. And the last deluxe class toy of Bluestreak, as I said, was the Universe Classics version. And years ago, and I mean years ago, I saw someone do a video review of that toy, and that individual pointed out that because of Bluestreak's almost entirely silver paint job, Bluestreak is one of the few Generation 1 Transformers characters whose alt mode, it actually makes him look almost like a movieverse or a studio series Transformers toy. Now, I don't know if that, today most Transformers fans, I don't know if they take that as a compliment or as an insult due to the legacy that has been made around the live-action Transformers movies. But I will admit I do love Bluestreak's paint job the best out of all the uses of the toys. Always, our teacher for life, she's having to leave. Eva, thank you, Nikki. That's our teacher for life's name. Thank you for stopping by and enjoying the video. Say hi to Autocorrect Primer for me, please. David Hill says, just like everyone says, they had a rocket-firing Boba Fett growing up. Only one was ever made and shown off at shows. That prototype was then changed to a non-firing when it was released. That's another legacy. That's one of the great 8-known legacies of Star Wars toys, David Hill. David Hill is saying that Bluestreak's alt mode is one sexy car. So it is pretty great. One thing that I like about Bluestreak is that even though his windows, even though they are clear plastic, at some angles they give the optical illusion of not being almost entirely clear. And so, just like the Generation 1 toy of Bluestreak, the black stripe that he has on the top of his vehicle mode, it goes to the back, goes across the entire top of his vehicle from front to back. Now, one thing I like about Bluestreak, and this is one of the reasons why I think Hasbro wanted to sell him as an exclusive. But if you look right here on the back, Bluestreak's taillights are actually painted in. Same thing with his headlights. The headlights are painted silver. So that's definitely one up that Bluestreak has over Prowl in alt mode, is that he has actual painted in taillights. And I noticed that, and I've noticed over the years that Transformers toys that are sold as exclusives, they tend to have better paint jobs than the Transformers toys sold at mass retail. And I don't know if Hasbro does that on purpose. I don't know if Hasbro does it on purpose because it's more expensive, applying more paint, and so because those Transformers toys are more expensive to make, they're sold at more expensive prices and are marketed as exclusives rather than mass retail. But to be honest, I personally enjoy it. Now, unfortunately, technically, because this is a Cybertronian alt mode, Bluestreak doesn't have to be a robot in disguise, but I actually enjoy Transformers toys that have proper weapon storage versus the official weapon storage that Bluestreak has here. So, unfortunately, the only weapon storage Bluestreak has is the only way to store his laser guns when he's transformed into his alt mode is to just prop them up here on top of his roof and on the hood of his vehicle mode. Now it works because the Transformers are at war, and it would make sense that Bluestreak would want to defend himself when he's transformed into his alt mode. But if anyone wanted to imagine a Bluestreak's alt mode being an Earth-based car instead of a Cybertronian one, then the guns on top does take away that robot in disguise aspect. Input, he says the taillights on Bluestreak are nice. I agree, Input, they are. David Hill says that I spoke our teacher for life's real name, aiming that he wants to auction off my real name now. Now he's telling people send money by PayPal, and I reveal Tiafengi's secret identity. Evil laugh. F. Ruben Soto says is that he thinks the taillight didn't need to be painted. Ain't it? I don't know. Ruben Soto, I kind of enjoy the taillights being painted. They aren't painted on Barricade and Prowl. And part of that has to do with the fact that the tail lights on this the taillight sections on this toy mold end up becoming the toes for the robot mode. So even on Prowl, his taillights are painted up to look as though they're a part of the bumper on the back of him. See if I can get Prowl transformed really fast for you guys so I can show him off next to Bluestreak in alt mode, just like I did robot mode. Let's see, almost there. And Prowl's Bluestreaks are all, Prowl's legs are all disheveled. Okay, so with Prowl transforming to his alt mode here, are Prowl and Bluestreak side by side with each other in their alt modes. They both look pretty fantastic looking together. There they are in the back. Again, here they are up front. Top photo. And one thing I didn't notice on Prowl until tonight, even though I've owned him for several months now since he was released, it's hard to tell, but if you look right there underneath Prowl's light bar, oh, I'm sorry, it's the other side. But if you look right there underneath Prowl's light bar, Prowl has a second Autobot logo on what ends up being one of his robot mode knees. And so that's pretty amazing that Prowl was able to hide the fact that he has two Autobot logos found on him, not just one. And that's one up that Prowl has over Bluestreak. Bluestreak only has the one Autobot logo here that ends up on the top of his hood. It's his hood, and it ends up being his robot mode chest. And so that's pretty interesting. So here's a proper side-by-side comparison of Bluestreak with Barricade. One thing I like about Bluestreak and Barricade is that the stripes running up the center of them, they're almost the same on Bluestreak and Barricade, only the main difference is that Bluestreak stops right at the edge of the bumper and Barricade goes all the way to the edge. And that's really interesting. That is interesting. Here they are side by side. Barricade, the badass Decepticon he is, he wants to push Bluestreak out of the way and make the video more about him. So here are all three versions of the Datsun cars that I have right now. I still have to get Smokescreen. I'm hoping I'll be able to get him this weekend. And so an interesting bit of trivia, Prowl and Bluestreak, they both come with the larger sized laser guns, but Barricade does not. So as far as having weapons, the number of weapons in alt mode, Bluestreak is the most armored up compared to the two police cars. I think Smokescreen has the same weapons as Bluestreak. He's got the larger laser gun and the two shoulder cannons. Now, for those of you wondering why Bluestreak's laser gun is sitting in a different spot from Prowl, that's because on Prowl there's a square peg on the bottom of the laser gun that lines up with the light bar siren he has, and so that's where that plugs in. And unfortunately, Bluestreak, because he's not a police car, he doesn't have the light bar siren. The only way to peg the main laser gun on top of Bluestreak is to have it just plug in on his roof using the round peg at the back of it. But to be honest, it's not bad. I really can't wait to get Smokescreen now because I have three of the four uses of the mold. A lot of Transformers fans I'd asked a few days ago, and I think it was Gotbot in his video live stream chat, I asked everyone on which Transformers Generations toy I should get for myself next, if I should get a Smokescreen or Nightbird. And everyone told me to get Smokescreen, and so again, a thank you to Crimson Raptors for gifting me Bluestreak. I was hoping Crimson Raptors would have been here tonight so I could have thanked him in the live stream chat. But because Crimson Raptors sent me Bluestreak, I will get Smokescreen hopefully before the weekend's over. But yeah, they are all really nice. So, my final thoughts, Bluestreak is an impressive Transformers toy. He's got the best paint job out of all the Datsun cars in the Siege line. I love the way his paint job is distributed, and it's also has, and the way the style of his vehicle mode is, it's a nice blend of being Cybertronian, but yet at the same time it stays true to the Generation 1 toy. And by all accounts, this toy does look like Bluestreak's appearance on planet Cybertron before the Autobots and all the Transformers ended up arriving and crash landing on planet Earth. ChubCub72, he says, Bluestreak's a gunner. David Hill is telling me, TFNG, I can always modify that square peg on Bluestreak to fit it into the port on the roof. That is true, I could take off the corners and make it more of a rounded peg. Hey, but for me personally, I kind of like the way it is sitting where it is right now. Ruben Soto says he uploaded 2 new videos. David Hill says he's willing to offer Nput's real name for free. And I think Nput tried to expose David Hill's real name. So my final word, do I recommend getting War for Cybertron Siege Bluestreak even though he's a Walmart exclusive toy? Absolutely. If you can somehow get a hold of Bluestreak, then by all means get a hold of him. For those of you who find yourself in the same situation that I am in, where it's next to impossible to get to Walmart to find Bluestreak, hopefully you can find him for a good price. I saw on some other websites that get their Transformers toys sent to them directly from the manufacturers. I've seen Bluestreak selling on Amazon, eBay, Big Bad Toy Store, I can't remember for certain. Bluestreak right now at the time of my video, he's sold out right now on tfsource.com, but he is available on other websites, including Walmart's own website. Right? So if you can get a hold of Siege Bluestreak, then by all means get him, because you cannot go wrong having this version of Bluestreak in your Transformers collection. And as I said earlier in the video, there's only been a total of 3 toys of Bluestreak that have been released in the generation style of Transformers toys, and the Siege is in fact the 3rd version of him, so you can actually count, using the fingers on your hands, how many toys of Bluestreak have been released over the years. So, because Bluestreak is a Transformers character who gets toys released far and few compared to other Transformers characters, that's one of the main reasons why I recommend getting the Siege version of Bluestreak. So thank you guys all so much for who stopped by in the live stream chat. David Hill, ChubCub72, Nput, Ruben Soto, Art Teacher for Life. Trying to scroll up, see if I missed anyone. And Green Turtle Gaming, thank you for stopping by. Okay, I think I named off everyone in the live stream chat, so thank you guys all so much for the live stream chat. It's 10 o'clock at night, and so I'm going to sign off right now so I can get to bed. And a big thank you once again to Crimson Raptors for sending me Bluestreak as a surprise present, so thank you so much for that, at Crimson Raptors. And if you haven't already, please comment and subscribe. This has been the TFN Geek. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a video review of the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Walmart exclusive 35th anniversary toy of Bluestreak. I highly recommend getting this toy. So thank you guys also so much. And enter the lines. Okay, David Hill wanted me to clarify something one last time. Oh no, CE Vids, he just said hello just in time as for me to start saying goodbye to everyone. CE Vids, I'm sorry you missed the live stream review, but thank you guys all so much once again. Hope you have a good evening and have a great day. Transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.